guys, welcome back to my second episode of Sunny's Dash of Flames. Today I will be cooking macaroni and cheese. So these are the ingredients I will be using. A half a stick of butter. This is sweet cream unsalted butter. I have 2 blocks of sharp cheddar cheese. I may or may not use both blocks. I have shredded mild cheddar cheese and Carnation can of evaporated milk, pepper, salt, this is kosher salt, and 2% milk, and I have 2 eggs as well. And of course, the macaroni noodles. So right now I have the water boiling here in the back, and it's to a full boil. It's filled pretty much over halfway with water. So I'm going to go ahead and add the noodles, but first I'm gonna add like a capful of olive oil to it so that way it doesn't stick together. And I just have regular old olive oil, but you can use any oil. Sometimes I even use the canola oil as well. So this is a full cap, and okay, so the oil's in, and now I'm going to add the noodles. And I just used the whole full box. And I'm just gonna stir these a little bit so I can get the oil in there. And for these noodles, I'm gonna go with the firm texture, so I'm just gonna cook it for 7 minutes. And these are the Ronzoni elbows, number 35. So they're kind of on the small, average size. There are bigger macaroni elbow sizes as well. So yeah, I'm gonna set this timer for 7 minutes so I know when to take it off. Okay, so when that's done cooking, I'll be back because I'm going to use the noodles in that pot and add all the stuff to it. So once that's finished, I can continue. Okay guys, my timer just went off, so I'm going to take this off the oven. And I have a pot here with the strainer. I'm gonna drain it now. A lot of steam. Okay, so I'm just gonna drain this. Okay, so now I'm going to reuse this same pot. I bought it down to around mid-heat, and I'm gonna pour the noodles in. Okay guys, so now the noodles are just in this pot, and we're gonna add like a bunch of stuff to it. So I'm gonna put this here. Okay, so I'm going to cut a half a stick of butter, and then you can just drop the whole thing in. Once you put it back on the heat, the butter will melt down. And then I'm going to add slices of sharp cheddar cheese. So I'm just going to slice them down into flat rectangles just to make it easier for the cheese to melt a little bit while they're in the pot. Okay, so these are all sliced, and I'm going to put them in here. Now I'm going to add 1 can of evaporated milk. And I'm just gonna pour the whole thing in. This helps to bring out the creaminess and to help it to form to be a little bit more firmer and not like runny macaroni. And I also have the 2% milk I'm gonna add in as well. I'm gonna kind of go cup by cup. And for that, you can kind of feel how much milk you want to add, because if you want it to be on the more thinner side for the macaroni, then you would add more milk, but I want mine to be a bit more on the firmer side. So I'm gonna go cup by cup. We'll just start off with 1 cup for now, and then I'll add as I need to. And I have pepper. For the pepper as well, you can just kind of add to taste. I definitely want mine to have a decent amount of pepper, a decent amount of heat in there. So I have it open on the pour side instead of the sift side, so it can get a lot in there. And I'm just gonna sprinkle some over. I use a pretty decent amount. This is what it's all looking like so far. See the pepper on there, cheese blocks, and then the salt as well. Add to taste. You don't want to, definitely don't want to over salt it, but you don't want to under salt it, because the salt will bring out its flavor. So I'm just gonna do, kind of gauge a few shakes there. And then I'm just gonna mix this all together. I'm gonna be adding my 2 eggs in there as well. And once you add the eggs in, just kind of stir really fast as you're pouring them so that they don't cook. So I can see the pepper specks in here. So it looked like I added definitely over a teaspoon. I would say maybe like close to a tablespoon's worth, if you want to really make sure you have some decent amount of pepper in there. Okay, so now I have 2 eggs in here. I'm going to add those as well. Okay, so I'm gonna pour this in here slowly and just stir really fast, just a little bit by a little bit. So I'm going to put on the heat for now and check the cheesiness level with this 1 block. And if it's not quite there, then I will add this 2nd block. So from what I'm seeing, I think I want to go ahead and add another cup of milk. So that'll make it 2 cups of 2% milk. Because I probably will definitely add more cheese, so I want to have a good ratio balance to it. And while that is cooking and starting to melt down, I'm gonna go ahead and cut my 2nd block of cheese. Okay, so the 2nd block is cut up, and I plan on using the shredded cheese more for just like the topping and just to use for when I put it in the oven. So I'm going to wait and not add this to the actual pot mixture. Okay, now that the pot has gotten pretty hot, I'm going to add this 2nd block of cheese to the mixture. And this is what the mixture looks like so far. There's blocks of cheese in there, some pepper, the milk, so it's looking good so far. Okay, so now everything is melted down. And this is what it looks like. So I'm just gonna take it and evenly spread it into the pan. And this is just a regular size baking pan. Okay, I'm gonna make sure it's nice and even. And it'll be full, looking like this. Probably hard to see through all the steam. And then I'm going to add the shredded mild cheese within it, and then also sprinkled on top so that there's a nice brown crust over it. Alrighty, so this is the final product. There's some actual cheese diced on there. So I have the oven at 350 and I'm gonna put this in the oven for 30 minutes. You can see this is more of a firmer texture. I put 2 cups of milk and then 1 cup of condensed milk. But if you would like to have it a little bit looser than this, because this definitely I can see is gonna be on the firm side like I wanted, then feel free to add more milk to the mixture. So my oven's preheated to 350 and I'm gonna put it in. And the baking rack should be at middle center. So I just set the timer for 30 minutes, so I'm going to wait and have that cook, and I will be back with you guys in a second. Okay guys, I am back. The macaroni just finished baking. There goes the timer. So I'm going to take this out. Gonna put it over here. So this is the finished product, and you can see the golden crust over the top. It's still definitely really hot, so I'm going to put this over here to cool. And I would say let it cool, I guess, anywhere 30 minutes to an hour, maybe around more the 30-minute range. And then it's just easier to cut into and take out the pieces, and you won't get burned from eating it so hot. So thank you guys so much for watching Sunny's Dash of Flames, and I will catch you guys the next video.